the Chicago Bears signed a new wide receiver and a special team specialist that could be on the way of pushing Velus Jones out the door. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to talk about Caleb Williams and the wide receiving core already setting up meetings and workouts outside of training camp. We're going to get into all that, plus the mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today, y'all. And so to start off with, the Bears have signed wide receiver Deandre Carter, and with the Bears wide receiver room being full, this is mainly a special team signing with Deandre Carter, and it could be something that the Bears have seen something throughout OTAs and training camp, and maybe they don't feel as comfortable with the special teams that they have now. This isn't, I don't want to overblow it or make it seem like it's going to be this huge signing or anything like this. It could end up being that he's a camp body, ends up not making the final roster. That is a chance that's what happens here. But the more likely scenario than anything else is that he could very well be somebody that's here to push out a Velus Jones, a Dante Pettis, a Webster. These are all guys who are looking at being kind of the focus on that special teams unit as far as returning kickoffs. And if the Bears have not seen something to where they feel confident in the promise of either Velus Jones or Dante Pettis, it could very well lead to Deandre making the final roster. So we'll end up seeing what happens with that. This one was reported by Jordan Schultz from Bleacher Report, and it kind of is what it is. This guy has been around the league for a long time. He signed as an undrafted free agent with the Ravens in 2015. He's since then played with the Raiders, the Patriots, the San Francisco 49ers, the Eagles, the Houston Texans, the Commanders, and the Los Angeles Chargers and Las Vegas Raiders. So he's moved around. He's a journeyman in the NFL, but it does show that maybe, just maybe, there isn't as much confidence in either Dante Pettis or Velus Jones. And if that's the case, he could find himself returning kickoffs here for the Chicago Bears in the 2024 season. But you guys can let me know what you guys think. All of that down below. With that said, let's go ahead and move into the next topic. And so Caleb Williams and the Bears wide receiver core have already started setting up throwing sessions before training camp. And so this is good. This comes from DJ Moore when he was on 670 The Score. He said him, Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze have all set up about 2 or 3 meetings over the next few weeks to have throwing sessions leading into training camp. And I don't even need to state how important this is. I think most people understand that, similar to what Justin Fields did with Darnell Mooney and DJ Moore last season. You want your quarterback and your wide receivers to be on the same page as much as possible. There's no such thing about a wide receiver and a quarterback having too much chemistry. And so I'm glad that this, as a group, they've decided to do this, and it can't do nothing but help the team. And we talked a lot about how the offense may start off as far as not the most congealed, right? Not all on the same page, not the most well-oiled machine. And these are the type of things that can help that curve a little bit, especially before training camp, and then you use training camp to get ready for preseason games. And, with, Matt Eberflus already saying that they want to get basically Caleb Williams about 45 to 60 reps in preseason. All these opportunities of having more chances to really learn your wide receivers. How do they like the passes? All those type of things, what they are and aren't capable of, getting that second hand down. That's some of the most important things that you can do this offseason with a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver, and then 2 veteran wide receivers. And so you want all of this to really, you want it to be as smooth as possible. And so, hearing that, he didn't say anything as far as like who was the first one to kind of to try to push for this happening, and it really doesn't matter. The key thing is that it's happening. And this is big. This is really good for the Chicago Bears. And, Caleb Williams is set to hopefully have a really big rookie season. We've already heard the expectations that Rome Odunze has for himself as a wide receiver for the Chicago Bears next year as well. So these are the good things that you want to hear about your team, is that they are doing the work outside of just training camp. They're not just using training camp, not just using OTAs. They're not just using that when it comes down to it. And so we'll see. But, especially when you got Caleb Williams saying things like, hey, he wants to win 8 Super Bowls or go to 8 Super Bowls. That's a major thing. So, we'll see. Caleb Williams saying this. And then the other one is 8 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has 7. So you got to set the bar high. I mean, listen, I love the confidence from it. That's some of the confidence that the Bears front office was really kind of taking in a positive way. They really loved about it. And to hear that, Tom Brady said, he responded too, saying, I think people should always reach for the stars. Certainly young quarterbacks in this league have got a lot of opportunities, but their careers are going to be made by what they choose to do. And with the work they put in, relationships they develop with their teammates, the organizations they impact, they should have high goals, but at the same time, they're going to have to work hard to achieve that. I really look forward to seeing the process unfold. That's naturally where the hard part comes. So listen, I love it. I love that Caleb Williams has that confidence. I love that he's saying things like that because guess what? That just gives us more to say. You got to prove it, young fella. And if you prove that for the Chicago Bears, hey, that is a very different and tall order. So we'll see what Caleb Williams can do. But overall, I was really happy to hear that the wide receivers and Caleb Williams have really set up, times and opportunities to not only meet, but to practice, to throw together the sessions. That's what you want. That's what you need. And we could see very early on the benefits of that chemistry that's being built now in the offseason. Let's hope that we do. With that said, it is Friday, so that means this is Mailbag Day here at Chicago Bears Central. We got 4 voicemails we're going to get into. This one's from Fred.
Hey, yo, Haize, what up, man? It's B-Boy Fred. I understand why you probably didn't play my voicemail, but it's all good. I mean, I get with somebody going through a death in a family, if I get that, and I was just speaking on, from a fan perspective, I'm just ready to see, my team do good and win, and we finally get that O-line together. Because think about it, as a Bears fan, man, we never really had a good offensive line. We never had weapons like the team we got now, you know what I'm saying? And as far as, with Nate Davis, man, if you're not, mentally there, then it's okay for you to sit here and tell the coach, hey, just cash me out of my contract and, find another replacement. I'm not he's not mentally there. And, we all human, we go through it, you know what I'm saying? And I can understand it and I can respect that. So I was just frustrated because I'm like, yeah, and I heard rumors before his mom passed away, he has no lazy work ethic. Now, that work ethic ain't gonna, help this team win no game, especially if you, lazy about it. And that's not cool. We need guys to practice so we can gel. Because they always, hey, you play ball, you know the saying, the way you practice is the way you play. And you know that for a fact. So it's we don't need you showing up for the games, then you playing in the game, and then you don't know what's going on, and then you throwing the chemistry off. It ain't fair, and then you setting a bad example for them young guys. If you know you're not mentally there to play the game, it's okay for you to, to let the team know, hey, I'm not mentally there, I'm still grieving, about the death of my mom and everything. And I get it when people lose, a parent, they still grieve and they hurt, But I was just speaking, from a fan perspective, not saying I don't give a damn about that his mom passed away, because, nobody deserves to lose a loved one or a relative, in a situation, whatever the case may be, though. But at the end of the day, I just want to see this team, do good and bring us some championships. As Bears fans, yeah, we're excited, because we haven't had the excitement since when. But it's good to see that, they giving us, a team, something to cheer for. So I just want to call in, about that. So let me know what you think, man. Chicago up, bear down or nothing.
Listen, I agree with you 100%, Fred. Overall, you don't want to see a talented offensive group, right, that has tons of talent up and down it. You don't want to see that held back by weak offensive line play. Nobody does. It would suck to be able to say that, hey, the wide receivers look good. Hell, Caleb looks good when he has some time, but the offensive line just isn't giving him enough time, and he's getting murdered out there. Or the offensive line isn't keeping the pocket long enough for Caleb to make that play. It was right before the play would have broke, right, while the wide receiver would have gotten open, those type of things. So, yeah, we don't want to be held back by our offensive line. But I do think that is why Ryan Poles and the offensive linemen that he brought in here, they all can play multiple positions. And I got to believe that was by design, that they brought in those players that can play multiple positions, because you never know who's going to go down. And even without that, you want to be able to stay fresh. You want to have versatility in how you can use your matchups. So, the different lineups that we see on that offensive line, I think are going to be important. And I think that, like I said, I'm not here to say that this is an all-pro, all-world offensive line. We got some really good pieces in it. Darnell Wright, Tevin Jenkins, really, really extremely good pieces. Our center positions, it should be competent this year, right? And Nate Davis can be good. We've seen it. That's why the Bears gave him $10 million. He just got to show it and prove it in a Bears uniform. And Braxton Jones, listen, a lot of people try to make Braxton out worse than what he is. He does have severe limitations in certain areas, but I look at that. And then the depth that we have on the offensive line. Kieran Abagaje, right, is a really promising offensive lineman. So let's hope that this offensive line just doesn't hold the team back, right? That's what we want to see. Competent play, the above average play, that's what we want to see. Let's hope that we can get to that because it's been a long while. And like I said, 105 sacks in 3 years has this offensive line given up. Yes, everybody on this offensive line hasn't been here, but you don't want to do that, not with Caleb Williams. And let's hope that we're starting to right that ship as well. But thank you for that voicemail, Fred. Let's go ahead and get into this next one. This one is from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas. Just wanted to give my thoughts on that DJ Moore extension, man. I know Haize always gives me shit about I don't like to re-sign players. It is fine. But that's absolutely not true, guys. I want you to prove it first. And DJ Moore has done more than that. I mean, I don't know where our team would have been last year without DJ Moore. And people always talk about, the impact of Montez Sweat, but guys, without DJ Moore, we can't even average probably more than 14 points a game. I'm just going to be honest with you. We don't have him last year. And he requires the defense to have to pay so much attention to him. We have to re-sign this guy. He's the ultimate bailout piece. If we can start integrating that quick slant in more to our offense, DJ Moore is, in my opinion, other than Devontae Adams, is the best quick slant route runner in the league. And don't even get me started on what he can do after the catch. So, he has done more than enough to prove it. And that's why it sucks when you got guys like Nick Davis over there making $10 million a year to do nothing. When you got dogs, you got guys like DJ Moore and Tevin Jenkins that deserve, a contract extension maybe, and they ain't getting it. DJ Moore for damn sure. Tevin Jenkins, we just need him to stay healthy. And I can only imagine how Tevin Jenkins is thinking. He's like, man, look, I've been playing like a fucking gladiator for the past 3 years and balling my ass off, getting injured. And then Nate Davis is over there getting $10 million a year to do nothing. So I can only imagine how Tevin's feeling about that. But yeah, man, I think we got to get DJ Moore that contract extension. He's going to be he's wide receiver one. I know we got some talent on our team, but he's wide receiver one, man. And at some point in Bears history, we've got to start signing, developing, and extending wide receivers. We have to. We can't just keep giving all the money to the defensive linemen and the goddamn linebackers. Okay, we have to start giving money to these receivers, and it looks like Poles is doing that. It looks like Poles is open to new innovative thinking with this organization, and I couldn't be more happy to have him, man. Just a fresh way of thinking, and I think he's going to get it done. But like you said, Haize, it's important to get this shit done before the season because as much as I love DJ, I don't want to give him 28. God damn. Hopefully we can settle on like 24, 25 maybe. Yeah, man, I hope it gets done before the season, though. Let me know what y'all think, and Texas up, bear down.
Listen, I agree. The DJ Moore contract extension is one that he's earned it. And I know the Bears have to look at future salary cap situations and things like that, but I think that's more for Keenan Allen. I think the Bears are content in the fact that they are going to offer DJ Moore a contract extension, and I would not be surprised if it happens before the start of the season. I would not be surprised at all if it happens between training camp and the start of the season that they try to get DJ Moore locked in. If you can get DJ Moore locked in, that just kind of lets you know, all right, we got Rome, we got DJ, we'll figure out the rest. Maybe it's Keenan Allen. Maybe it's a Tyler Scott that steps up. Maybe it's whatever, right? But if you can get those two locked in and have those two locked in, especially while Rome Odunze is on his rookie scale contract, that's what you want to have because then you're building, right? You have building blocks there that you're not worried about have to replace, unless something crazy happens. But that's what you want to have. And so I think the DJ Moore contract extension is coming. I don't think they're going to let him get away for nothing. I just don't believe that. You saw how quickly they locked in Montez Sweat to an extension, the largest contract per annual salary in Chicago Bears history, by the way. So we got to get DJ Moore locked in, and I'm sure that the market being reset like it did for wide receivers, it definitely maybe put a little bit of, okay, wait, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's make sure we got everything still lined up well. But I feel confident in DJ Moore getting extended. That's just my personal opinion. Could blow up in my face, Let's hope it doesn't, because at the end of the day, we want the talent here. We want talent here in Chicago. So let's hope we're able to hold on to the talent in DJ Moore. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Dewan.
Haize and the Cognac Boys, Bobby, Steve-O, Haize. This your boy Dewan from the low end. I was coming in because I was listening to y'all take, on the podcast and everything. Like, I was waiting for, mini camps to be over with, to get my opinion on things. Like, I understand, we got an Allen Iverson on the hands with Nate Davis. And I'm like, y'all, if you're not bringing that shit on game day, what's the point of getting all that money if you ain't go give us the product that we paid for? We understand that he went through family matters, So I at least want him to see when the goddamn training camp come to is go all the way through into the preseason and into the season. That way, like I said, it could be some so that Ryan can gel, Caleb Williams can know who's in front of him to get things done. The defense, I think the defense is picking up where they left off at, but that's damn near with every team when it comes to, installing a new system on offense. The defense always go get a better hand because either you have been in a system for the second year or the third year, so you should be clicking and rolling no matter what. It ain't too much thinking you got to do just out there playing. So I'm going to see if the defense when preseason comes, So as far as that, I know all the big names that we've been talking about, but what about these backups? I want to know if Zach Pickens go step up and do what he got to do. I want to know if they go get Greg Stroman, Terrell Smith more playing time since they know that they can produce and leave it out on the field. Offensive wise, I just need the offensive line that just come together. Tevin Jenkins to, stay on the good, healthy side. We gonna pray that he stay healthy this whole year so he can get that bag and stay with us. Because I hate when we develop people and we let them fucking go. That's the only thing about Chicago. We get some dogs, but we don't develop them. And then when they do leave, they become good wherever the fuck they go. So outside of that, like training camp when it come, we go see how everything go. But outside of that, I just want to know y'all opinion on the backups. If we so happen to do lose somebody, are you betting on their backup to fill in and do what they got to do? And as far as defensive end, I know we need another DN. But do we have to go after Yannick since he played with us last year? What about the other defensive ends that's on free agency? Give me y'all opinion. Chicago up, bear down.
Great voicemail, Dewan. I mean, what can I say about Nate Davis that we haven't already said? Yeah, he has to bring it on game day. Like the practice thing, the training camp thing, you're a veteran, whatever, bring it on game day. And I think a lot, and I think I said this on yesterday's episode or maybe episode before. If Nate Davis comes in and he's what he was advertised to be, and keep in mind, you're not expecting Nate Davis to be a top 10 guard in this league, but be respectable, right? Be above average. If he comes in and he does that, the best thing about offensive linemen is that when you're not talking about your offensive line, unfortunately, right? Like, people are going to look at it, they're going to narrow in on it, but you want Nate Davis to just be able to be good. And if he is able to do that, a lot of the talk around him, whatever it is, the practice and stuff, that'll go away because he's bringing it on game day. But I agree, you have to bring it on game day, period. Now, as far as the other parts, as far as the defense being ahead of the offense, yeah, and we do need the young players to step up. Like, when you look at it, we have a lot of young players on this team at every level. Javon Dexter on that defensive line, maybe even Austin Booker. You already said Zach Pickens, right? And then you look at Terrell. You look at Tyreek Stevenson has to bring it as well, right? These are second-year players. You got Jack Sanborn going into his third year, Jaquan Brisker out there, Kyler Gordon. So this is a team that we need a lot of the young players and the depth pieces to step up as well. So, if that can happen and if we can get that quality depth play out of a lot of these pieces, this is going to be a defense that other teams are going to hate to face. And I, for one, love that. Again, I'm not ready to say monsters in the midway again or anything, but let's just be monsters. And let's do that. Let's be a defense that other teams, when they play the Chicago Bears, they got to think about what they're doing. And that they got to realize, hey, this is going to be a tough game. And I think that's what you want. That's what you want on this team. Now, as far as going after a veteran, I still don't know. I mean, you've seen them. They've gone after now. And Mercedes Lewis, they brought in Deandre Carter. So it's possible that they bring in more veterans. But I think this is going to be a team that's probably going to get through about halfway through training camp and hope that either Austin Booker, DeMarcus Walker, the pressure that they feel Javon Dexter is going to bring, maybe keeps them from having to go and get a veteran edge there. So we'll see. It's always going to be an option. And there are veteran edges other than Unique out there. I do think it may be a natural thing for Yannick to come back because he's here, he's familiar. But ultimately, I think that this team is hoping that they don't have to go the veteran option because the young players and the players that they have here show enough in training camp that they feel comfortable riding with them into the season. At least that's my hope. But all right, let's get into the last voicemail for today. This one's from Booker.
Yo, Haize, what's up, man? This book, man, blessings to you and yours. I just want to take this time, man, to give props, man, and really explain how, like, glad I am for Ryan Poles, man, because this dude in 2 to 3 seasons has not only turned this team around potentially to be a great team, but has inspired hope to the city of Chicago. I haven't had a season where I felt so hopeful and so like I have a feeling that this is the start of something special. You know, now they got to do it on the field, but for some reason, again, I don't have that worry. For some reason, I feel the pieces of the puzzle are now put together. Now all they have to do is just display it. You know what I'm saying? I think that this team is going to be better than what other people think, because there are still some doubters or still some people who think that the Bears are not going to do good. But Ryan Poles has put together a great team, a great coaching staff, a great staff, period. Even with Cunningham, man, the assistant general manager, man. You know, he was the one that brought that, man. So I just want to give my congratulations to Ryan Poles, man, and looking forward to a good season, man. And I got a feeling, man, we finna share some happy times. But that's all I wanted to say. Again, shout out to you, to the crew, to the family, to the familiars, all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. Chicago up, bear down. Make it happen.
Listen, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Ryan Poles is putting the puzzles together. And it's going to still take some time for it all to be the picture that we want it to be. But he's laid a lot of the groundwork. Really, this team is night and day different over what it was when he took over. And the wins are the things that got to come now. We got talent, but talent doesn't always get you wins, right? It's how that talent comes together, how they're coached. There's a lot of things I love that you also talked about putting the coaching staff together. I think that he feels confident in this coaching staff. We'll see if that ends up paying off, right? There's some still more than enough reasons for doubt for Matt Eberflus, but Matt Eberflus went from being voted as one of the coaches most likely to use their job to being a coach of the year candidate via some betting site. So that just shows the difference that people are viewing this team on. And this team can very well have success this year. And so Ryan Poles, he's the maestro of it all. He's the one that put it together. He's the visionary. He saw the vision for these players, these pieces, these coaches. And let's hope that it all comes together. And I love that putting the puzzle pieces together. Everything doesn't fit together as much as it looks like it would on paper, right? Like as far as when you're rebuilding a team, but to have that vision and to continually build to where things just start working, they start overlapping, they start doing those type of things. That's what Ryan Poles kind of has excelled at. And so I've given Ryan Poles a lot of credit for who he is, the man he is, and what he's brought to the Chicago Bears team already. Now we got to transition from that next phase that I talked about on yesterday's episode, from rebuilding to competing, right? And I notice I said compete, not contend. But that's the next step for this team, is competing. What are we competing for? A postseason spot. I would love to say win the division, but I wouldn't be mad at a wild card selection this first year, right? Especially with the rookie quarterback. But you're building, and you're getting to a place of just seeing what you need to add. Every year is evaluating. Is evaluating, all right, this is what we did last year. These are who's up for new contracts. These are our free agents. What do we need to do? What's the right combination of bringing in new talent and keeping our old talent to where we're now stepping up to the next phase, right? We're continually improving year after year. And that's where the Bears are right now. 7-win season last year, 9 to 10 wins, I think at a minimum is a nice expectation, mainly because of the talent on this team, not just because of the change of quarterbacks, not just putting that on Caleb Williams, but we have a lot here. And so Ryan Poles has done a really good job of building this thing out. And let's hope that it continues, man. Let's hope that we are taking that next step forward next season, and we're not looking back at it and saying, hey, man, did y'all really think that could y'all believe that we thought 10 wins? And we're sitting there at 6, right? Like, that's not what we want to see. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I feel really positive about what this team could be. I hope you guys do too as well. But that's my time for today, guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2789. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. That's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.